everybody. My name is Jackson. For those of you who have been viewers of the Knit and the Grit podcast, you might have noticed some changes. I have adjusted the name, kind of rebranding the YouTube channel to kind of just be more cohesive with the rest of my social media. So this will now be the StellaLuna podcast. This is still my channel to kind of talk about all of my crafting, my knitting, my sewing, needlepoint, cross stitch, quilting, whatever it might be that I'm working on at the time. Lord knows I have a lot of whips. But this is just to kind of make my social media all kind of a little bit more cohesive under kind of the same name. And for those of you who might not know, I do have a hand-dyed yarn business. I am coming up on having had it for about a year, which I'll probably talk a little bit more about. Either way, that's just kind of what's going on over here. Nothing really changing, trying to still be on top of podcasting, still pretty proud of myself because it has not been that long since the last episode. I had tried filming this episode the other week, but it's just been kind of hectic here. We've had family in town for the 4th of July, and I'm going to be going out of town, so there's just a lot going on. But I have been knitting, I've been working on stuff, but since we're kind of rebranding the channel, I figured this might be a good time to do a bit more of OG introduction. I don't think I've really done one in a while, but might be a good time. Anywho, so my name is Jackson. I am the dyer behind StellaLuna Fiber Co. I am based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee right now with my husband in our house and our 2 dogs, Stella and Luna. They're both golden retrievers. That's where the name came from. And I've been knitting for over 10 years, like consistently. I learned to knit when I was really little. My mom's friend taught me and my sister both how to knit, but I definitely did not have the attention span when I was that young to really keep up with it. And in about like sophomore year of high school or so, I started to reteach myself how to knit and really got into it in college as a way to kind of help me focus when writing papers and having to be in the library for long periods of time. So that's kind of how I got into knitting, and then the pandemic kind of hit and I was trying to figure out something to do, and I didn't want to make knitting my job, so that's how I got into, and I wanted to try out hand dyeing yarn and kind of fell in love with it and have had a lot of fun with it. So that's kind of my little backstory for anyone who's curious. But I do have some half-finished objects. I have made some good progress on my socks that I've been working on. I am participating in summer sock camp knit along that Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady is hosting. One of these socks goes with that, the other one does not, because I started them last summer. But last summer I started these babies. These are the Kindling socks, and this is a pattern by Lindsay Fowler. I've only got one sock done and just a few rows on the second sock. If you haven't seen any of my other episodes, I have a lot of socks on the needles right now. I have, I think, at least 9 and then probably about 11 whips total. So I don't get through stuff super fast. I like casting things on, I don't like finishing them. But I did finish this sock. This is knit out of my Autumn Bonfire colorway. This is a slightly off skein, so I just snagged it for myself. But I really love this colorway. It's so gorgeous. It just really glows, and it makes me really happy. It makes me think of fall. It makes me ready for the temperature to get cooler because it is hot here. We're under a heat advisory at the moment. But that is half-finished object number 1. Half-finished object number 2 is also by Lindsay Fowler. This is her Tea Leaves sock pattern, and I'll take this off the blockers. This sock has not been blocked yet since I still have stitch markers in it for reference on the second sock, but it's got like a really beautiful kind of lacy bobble pattern running down the top of the foot, and I did have to fudge a little bit of the pattern just because the pattern for how long my foot is would have required an additional pattern repeat of like this kind of the lacy bobble chart. And if I had done an additional pattern repeat, the foot of my sock would have been way too long. So I kind of did a little fudging right here at the toe and did a few rows of kind of like purling across the top just to extend the foot down and just kind of continued the transition a little bit. And then when I did an afterthought heel, which deviates from the pattern, it has a heel flap and gusset in the pattern, I did add a few extra rows on the afterthought heel that I did just to like extend the foot a little bit this way and stuff, just to make sure like I was gonna have enough room and not be kind of cramped in my socks. But this is, I don't think I've said it yet, but this is out of my Tricolor Sage sock set. So I've got like this really beautiful mini here that I use for the cuff and the heel. And then the base of the sock is on my Fresh Herbs color. And kind of in the same spot as I am with the Kindling socks for the second sock, I just have like about 2 rows done on the cuff for the second sock, so not a ton of work after finishing the first sock has been done. And that's just because I've been working a lot on my sweater. My sweater's been getting the bulk of my attention, and I am getting there. So as you can see, I've done a lot on the body, and where this first stitch marker is here is about where I was last episode, I think. And then this is marking where I only have oh my gosh. Anyways, back to our normal programming. This second stitch marker I put in to kind of mark, I think I have from that stitch marker 2 1/4 inches left to do before I start doing the ribbing, and I have 3 rows done, so I've really got about 2 inches left until I'm on to the ribbing, and then this will be done. Hi puppies. Hello. You're gonna be on the podcast. But that is my Midcoast sweater. I am knitting that out of Brooklyn Tweed in the Loft base. Luna's tail is hitting the tripod. Luna, come here. Say hi, bud. Say hi, Luna. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. And that's on the Brooklyn Tweed Loft base in Cast Iron, which is that black color, and Woodsmoke, which is kind of a beigey gray, and Embers, which is the orange. And that is it for what is like really being worked on. I have not been working on anything else since the last episode, but I do have some like kind of shop announcements that I kind of wanted to put out into the universe. On July 1st, I released first off, a yarn club. It's called the StellaLuna Library Yarn Club. It's a literary themed yarn club based off of some of my favorite books and series of the reading variety, and that is a mystery yarn club, and so listings will go up the first of the month, be open for about a week, and then I'll dye and ship out, and you'll ideally have the yarn like by the 1st of August. And so those are currently listed in the shop. And then I also have a Sunday Advent that is listed in the shop. I was thinking this would be kind of a fun and slightly more cost-effective way to celebrate Advent and Christmas and still feel like you get to participate in the fun that kind of comes with having a yarn Advent. And as you can see, I've barely made a dent in what I did as a yarn Advent last year from my old Advent calendar from 2020. So I still have I've only done 5 colors, and they're not even completely like knitted into the project I'm working on. So I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to do something more of a Sunday Advent style, and that will be 4 50-gram sparkle skeins that will be individually packaged and numbered, so you know which Sunday to open them on. And They're kind of inspired off of Christmas markets a little bit, and they're fun and colorful and cozy. So those will be listed in the shop until the end of July. Those also went live on July 1st. So if anyone's interested in that, go check them out. I also have a fall collection that will be coming out into the shop in August. So I will be releasing colors in a few weeks over on Instagram to announce what's going to be there. I'm very excited about this particular one. And it's literary themed, somewhat adjacent. It's not like any particular book or anything like that, but I think it will be really fun. And so that's kind of what's going on shop news wise. I do have some dream knitting. I think I talked a little bit about dream knitting in the last episode, but I've kind of like adjusted my plan a little bit, just given how long this Midcoast sweater has been taking me. And I love how it looks, and I'm so excited to have it done. But I'm itching to cast on garments, but I don't want ones that are going to feel like they take forever. And so I've kind of figured out what I'm going to be casting on once I get my Midcoast sweater off the needles. So first up, I've already talked about, is the Felix cardigan. This will be done in my molasses colorway. I love this brown. And so that is going to be project number 1. This is on my Aran base. I've had this dyed up for forever now, pretty much. And that is going to be the first thing I cast on once my Midcoast sweater is off the needles. And then I'll probably end up casting these on at the same time. They're kind of similar, like chunkier weight, Aran worsted weight type projects. But I also really want to cast on the Lodge sweater by Ozetta. And so I dyed up, this is Silver Fox, but dyed up slightly differently. I was kind of playing around with that particular colorway when dyeing this up, and I like how it turned out. I like that it's a little bit more variegated. And so this will be a Lodge sweater. And so that's kind of like my initial dream knitting. I just want a lot of garments right now, and my sister has already knit one sweater on my Aran base, and she like flew through it. And so I'm hoping that these will be kind of not exactly palette cleansers, because that's not really the right word, but something to kind of like rejuvenate my mojo, I guess. Just because my Midcoast sweater I've had on the needles for probably over a year now. A lot of my socks have been on the needles for over 6 months, if not longer. And so I'm feeling like I'm a very slow knitter at the moment, even though like I can knit pretty fast. I'm just personally not a very good monogamous knitter. So I'm hoping by casting on some thicker weighted yarn projects that are done on bigger needles, I'll feel very, very productive with my knitting. So that's like kind of what's like gonna be happening next, kind of what the knitting goals are. And hopefully I will feel refreshed, because I love my Midcoast sweater. It's gorgeous, but I am just doing tons and tons of stockinette on fingering weight yarn, and I'm ready to be done with it. So yeah, that's what's going on over here with me. These will be casted on here soon. I am hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe by the end of this coming weekend my Midcoast sweater will be done. But it's touch and go there, because I will be traveling, and with that I will be driving for 10 hours on Friday and then back home on Sunday. So that's 10 hours in 3 days, or 20 hours total over the course of 3 days that I will be stuck in a car driving. So won't be able to knit then, since I am driving by myself down to Florida to see my parents and get some final things from their condo and stuff. So we'll see. You know, put your good vibes out into the world that I can just knit like the wind. But that kind of concludes that. I did want to say that if you don't already go and follow me on Instagram, I highly recommend that you do. I tend to be fairly active over there, either in my stories or in actual posting. I am planning on doing a giveaway here soon with my StellaLuna Library Yarn Club. Month 1, I'm obsessed obsessed with. I am itching to cast it on. I already have a pattern ready to go, and August 1st I will be casting on a new pair of socks, so I need to get things done and off the needles over the course of the next month. But here in probably a few days, like probably next week, I will be doing a giveaway of that, and go check that out. I am on Instagram at StellaLuna Fiber Co. I am also on TikTok at StellaLuna Fiber Co. And I'm over on Ravelry, and I am on Ravelry as JacksonRankhorn, all one word. So if you're looking for me there, that is where you can find me. I also have my yarn on Ravelry as well. So that concludes this episode. Hopefully this is a little bit shorter than it has been in the past, just because I don't have as much knitting to actually show. But thank y'all so much.